Hey, welcome back to this week's report brought to you by Roach's Guide Service, powered by Fish USA. The snow really didn't impact the lake a whole lot. I'd say we got anywhere from 4 to 6 inches. A lot of it's drifted up. Obviously, there's drifts you got to worry about, but most of the resorts have cleared the paths and we're good to go for wheelhouses. We're moving around in portables. As we get towards late January, mobility is always key. Setting up in the wheelhouses like we saw last weekend, you're gonna get some fish, but you really gotta kind of move around during the day. So if you're bringing the wheelhouse up, make sure you're packing an otter with you. That way you can kind of move around during the day and then getting set up for peak periods. That morning, evening bite has been really good. Then of course, overnight, we're catching some fish as well. It's really important to be set up in the right area. I get a lot of questions like, where should I set my wheelhouse, or how should we set up? Morning and evening, we're up on the top edge of structure, whether it's gravel bars, mud flats. Midday like this, especially high sun, we're sliding out into this deeper water, this 30 to 32 feet. Right now we've got the Yeti sitting right on the point. That's kind of our home base. And then we've got the otters strung out along the deep edges of this break, and we're just kind of trolling down the break throughout the daytime hours. We'll return to these high percentage areas then again in the evening. And when I'm hole hopping like this, I might only fish a hole for 5 minutes or so and then move on. It's interesting, all the little nuances of this deep water. Some of these spots have gravel on them, some have deeper rock, some just have sharper breaks. And it's crazy how these fish will kind of patrol this area, and then during those peak feeding periods, they'll slide right back up on top. This is a prime example. It's 2 foot difference just 10 yards away. It makes a huge difference. I can also tell that's a harder bottom here. And when I say top, I don't always mean like really, really shallow. Sometimes it's that top edge or like that little lip. Like this is a great spot where I've got like a hard bottom and it just meets that soft transition line there. And these are areas that I'm definitely gonna mark and come back to towards evening. The perch bite continues. Not that we're catching a ton of them, but once again this week we've been getting some really nice perch kind of mixed in with the walleyes, and that then came up and hailed it. Yeah, actually eating the perch buckshot, what do you know? But look at that thing, it's just a giant. There's one. I looked up for a second, bam, that thing just slammed it. I'm not too far off that actual tip of that hump, and lo and behold, boom, fish on. And that's what I mean about being mobile during the day. And even on these cold days, you can move the Yetis really easy. We're moving the wheelhouses just as fast as we're moving the otters, but it's nice to have the otters out here too on these really nasty, windy days. We can stay just as mobile as you can ice trolling. And there we go, there's a nice Mille walleye. That's what I'm talking about. We're right behind the Yeti here. I'm just off the edge of the structure. Staying mobile during the day is always key to catching fish on Mille, but then getting set up right on the exact spot you want. The map chips will only get you so far, so you want to get out of your truck, kind of mark and make sure you're on the spot for high percentage areas, and then during the day just get out and ice troll. Even on these cold days, you bring the otters, you can move around pretty good and catch daytime walleyes on Mille Lake. What a beauty. Man, it's been a great week. Looks like an awesome weekend out here. I tell you what, if you're coming up, make sure you're calling the resorts, making sure that they've got staked roads where you want to go. But for the end of January, I'll take fishing like this. Hey, until next week, I'm Tony Roach, and we'll see you on the ice.